Any information I give as a clairvoyant medium, I am responsible for. Any healing that I conduct, I have to be very cautious about, is this the right time for the person to receive the healing? Hello, my name is Sax Francisco. I'm welcoming you here in my studios, Thunder Walks Lightly in Warsaw, Canada. And I would like to talk to you about the healing services that I do offer here. And first I'll tell you a little bit about myself and my background. I'm a clairvoyant medium. I've been working professionally as a medium in the public for about 18 years now. And it was sort of interesting growing up because I was aware that I was seeing things that weren't totally normal because of so many unique things that were happening in my head and in my sight. I remember distinctly talking about this with one person, and I didn't realize until then how different I was, because the person met me with this very blank stare. And then I became aware that I could actually read minds, because I could see exactly what was on their mind, and it was like, you're nuts. And as soon as I saw that, there was something in me literally that, it kind of went like this, like when a shutter closes on a camera, or when you think of the veils that people have. It was like something literally came across my third eye. And it went dark. And from that point, say 10 years old to probably about 16, I pretty much shut it out. I didn't think anything of it. I just thought, well, it can't be normal if this is what I saw in someone's head. And more importantly, at the time, there weren't many people that were like this with me or around me. So it was one of those things where I didn't think it was necessary. I didn't think it was a necessary tool. I didn't think anything of it. I just put it aside me. But what was interesting is my twin sister had sort of a thriving interest in the spiritual world, a little more than I did, around 15 and 16 years old. And she coincidentally found a palm reader. I'm laughing because I find myself so entertained by the fact that I'm actually in the psychic world because I'm such a skeptic. So I feel that this is God's greatest joke on me. It's just hilarious. So anyway, my sister went out to them all when she was 16 years old, and she came across the lovely and talented Ursula Dick. So she brings home the tape recording of the reading from Ursula doing her palm reading. And, the information on this tape was so profound to me because I couldn't understand how a woman who had never met our family could give my sister such accurate information on our lives. And she had our family down to these little pegs. It was almost uncanny. It was absolutely uncanny. So there was something in me that I just thought, well, I can't be that much of a skeptic if this is proving already to have some credence to it. So in my head at 16, I thought, okay, here I go. I'm going to go off to the palm reader, and let's just see what she says about me. And sure enough, so she took some inked prints of both of my hands, and she started to also look physically at my hands. And at the time, she informed me that I have something on my palms that she referred to as moons of vision. So when Ursula saw this in my hands, I'll never forget it because she said, oh my heavens, you can see, you're going to see. And, it kind of went in one ear and out the other, and I just thought, well, I don't know, man. I'm just here for the same old thing people are usually coming to psychics for. Never mind that, just tell me about men, money, and marriage. I was seeing, I just in one ear, out the other when I was 16. So then, I made my way all the way through 16 into 20 and into my mid-20s. And then what happened closer to 28 is my maternal grandmother happened to suffer a stroke. And I remember distinctly from pretty much the moment she suffered her stroke, I could feel energies within me absolutely change. And I kind of felt I needed a change of life. And it seemed like her stroke was bringing it to me whether I was ready or not. And I remember distinctly having this vision I was on a plane coming home from California. It was the first vision I ever had. It was like the strangest thing, because I'm on this plane and I was sort of in a, awake yet a slightly meditative state. And here I could see my hand, although my hands were here, all of a sudden in spirit I could see my hand, and it was appearing right beside me. And all of a sudden it kind of came crashing down, and I literally saw it as if it was crashing down and hitting a table. And when I was seeing the vision, there were so many things going on in my head, because I thought, I know that's my hand. Why is it in spirit? Why is it hitting the table? But as it did, it was like this feeling of, now you're changing, things are going to happen. So one thing led to another, and I just changed everything almost overnight. I quit jobs, I left apartment buildings that I lived in, and I all of a sudden ended up in a photo studio, deciding that I'm going into art. And I had to go and look at the studio, but as I looked through the threshold of the doorway, I could see, as you see on a hot day, if you look at pavement, you'll see those wavy lines where you'll see heat lines, heat coming off the pavement, and you can see it like a vapor. It looks like a vapor, really. And I stood there and I realized within myself that, if you cross over into this doorway, you're not going back. And I went through this cycle in this studio where I realized, okay, I can see energy. I realized I was seeing spirits of the living, okay, not just the dead. The spirits of the living were giving me information to specifically help with people's healing. A little bit of the ESP was happening, where I could talk to someone and I could literally read what was on their mind. I realized I could read it. And the way I realized I was really reading, I remember being warned at 16, it could be happening. Here I am at 28 going, oh, it is happening. And I was aware of my need to help people. I remember back then thinking, oh my heavens, what is really happening here? Because it's just a very unique threshold to be able to communicate from one side of the spirit world into the physical world, and allow the marriage of the information to actually effect a change in someone. Anything that I tell someone, I'm responsible for. If it's coming through me, it better be pure. I've had my wits about me my whole life. My instincts are impeccable. My intuition for me has been impeccable. I'm taking the information, stopping it down into a way that can be articulated clearly to the person for their benefit and growth. And that to me is what healing is.